right, let's run through our awards predictions.
Awards predictions. We got a lot of them. And let me make sure we got them here. We got goals, assists, manager, player, comeback, and young player. Comeback, I don't really think I have too many players up there, so maybe that's something that we just kind of talk about.
Yep, I agree.
And maybe young player I'll move up, so that way comeback's down below.
Fair.
All right, let's start off with goals. Who's going to be the goal leader this year?
I feel like if you're gonna bet on any players, it's probably between Haaland, Salah, maybe Nunez, and Kane and Son. And so I'll go first. I'm just gonna go Mo Salah. Yeah. Especially losing Mane. I feel like with how much, not necessarily adaptation time Nunez will need, I think Salah will be relied on more than ever to score goals. And I feel like he's already been like super sharp in preseason, although he didn't score he scored a penalty, I guess, on penalties as well. So he'll get that bonus, but I think he'll be relied on more than ever to score goals, and that'll be his role for this team.
Yeah, I mean, I got to go with Salah, too. I think, when it comes to Premier League proven, Mo Salah has proved time and time again that he is that guy. And I'm excited to kind of continue to watch his career as he extended his contract with Liverpool. I think that he's going to score the most amount of goals. I think he's going to score 24 this year in the Prem. I could definitely see him scoring more than that in the Prem. But I think, like you said, with Mane gone, kind of gives him that threat to score. But I think he could also be relied on for assists as well. I think you could definitely see him kind of be a guy that puts it in the box. Now, finally, that you have a guy like Darwin, just put it in there, let him get his head on it, let him do his thing. I'm excited for them, and I think Mo Salah is going to be goal scorer.
I will say, just quickly, that's if you say he's going to score like 24, 25 goals, you're saying then Haaland's not going to score 24 plus. Because I feel like I'm not going to say people are saying he's going to score 30, because that's kind of crazy, but I feel like people think Haaland could score like 20 in his sleep. So you're basically saying he's going to take a little bit more time.
He's going to take a little bit more time, but so is Nunez. It's not
fair.
And again, I don't want.
That's why we're betting on Salah.
Yeah, that's why we're betting on Salah.
Fair. All right, so top assister, who you got?
Let's see here. Who's going to be top assist? Man, I don't really have too many guys here. I'm going to go with.
I mean, my pick's here, so I'm putting him in.
All right,
Kevin De Bruyne.
Kevin De Bruyne.
I think that, especially with the way they played last season, and he still ended up getting, I think it was 15 assists or something crazy. That now that they have Haaland, who's a little bit more of a getting behind like goal threat, and if De Bruyne can start whipping in those crosses to Haaland now, or playing those through balls between the lines to him, I think that he could potentially end up getting 20 assists in this team. Yeah. So I think obviously like your other shots are like Trent or Robertson is a shout, but I think that like Salah, because he was both leader last season as well. But I'm putting my money on De Bruyne.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Trent, and I don't have a picture of Trent.
Classic.
So I'm gonna use this picture that has Conte's head cut off.
Fair, that's fine.
And again, I do apologize that it's not prepared in time, but
doesn't matter.
I think Trent, man, I like I said, having different ways to score now, having him kind of be up in the midfield role, kind of allows to unlock a new key that I think Trent didn't have before.
And crossing to Nunez.
I think there's just different avenues now for Trent to get assists.
And on set pieces, all those things.
Yeah. I see him being the assist leader.
All right, manager of the season.
Manager. It's got to be Eddie Howe.
Are you going Eddie Howe?
No.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, he had a shot last season, but I mean, he would have to do wonders, I feel like, this season to make it.
I think based on the show that's coming out August 4th,
Mikel?
I got Mikel.
I like it.
I got Mikel for manager of the season. I think a lot of us made fun of him, when he came in there. Obviously getting top 8, I was like, maybe it's time to look at a new manager. But they stuck with the process. They made a huge run last season, ended up getting 5th. But I'm excited for what Arsenal's able to unlock this season with Gabriel Jesus in the front. You have Zinchenko, like I talked about. Man crush on Zinchenko, like my man Sean. But I think, if he gets top 4, I think there's no way that the Premier League doesn't give him manager of the year.
Yep.
Because I think what they really want to show is that
they want to reward people.
They want to reward people. And
for the process.
Reward the process, give Mikel the award.
I'm going to say if Arsenal finish 3rd, then he'll get it. If they finish 4th or lower, he won't. So in that sense, I'm going to go Klopp. Because, as much as I predicted Man City to win, obviously I want Liverpool to win. And they even gave Klopp, I think Klopp got manager of the year last year. And we finished 2nd, so if we win the league, he'll for sure get it this year. So I'm gonna go Klopp.
Yeah.
All right, player of the season.
Player of the season. Eesh.
I'm going Salah.
Salah.
I feel like this is definitely between Salah, De Bruyne, Kane, and maybe Holland, but I feel like Holland won't get enough
Haaland.
goal contributions in the sense of assists to really matter into that unless like City blows the league away and he scores like 40 goals. So I'm going Salah. He'll definitely have like, I mean, if I'd be shocked if he didn't get 20 goals, at least 10 assists. Liverpool competing for Premier League winners. I feel like he's a lock. Unless Spurs make a crazy run, like to get top 2 or maybe even somehow win it, I don't think Son or Kane will get it. And then it's really between, at that point, Salah and De Bruyne. I just think if Liverpool wins, Salah will get it.
I'm going to go with a surprise pick here.
Oh my God. Who you going? Ronaldo?
Give me James Madison.
James Madison, bruh.
No.
That's
I'm going to go with Youngman Son.
I like it.
I think Son.
Sonny boy. Arguably should have won it last season.
Should have won it last season. I think he's just entering that sort of Premier League prime. I know he's a little bit older. I think he's like 26, 27 right now.
He's 29, actually.
29? Oh, way older than I expected.
I mean, but he's been like at his peak power for the last like 2-3 seasons.
Yeah, and I think this is where he kind of pushed it. And I think top 3 is exceptional for Arsenal. Arsenal.
It would be exceptional for Arsenal, too.
It would be exceptional for Arsenal if he was there. But I think it's exceptional for Spurs because, again, Spurs, they're not really known for winning trophies. They don't have anything. But I think this is going to be the first trophy for them, and that's a player, even though they won the Golden Boot last season.
It was a tie Golden Boot, so
Golden Boot.
It wasn't really their trophy, but
it's a shared trophy. But I think he could win Player of the Season, especially if they get third, especially if Youngman could score 20+ goals. I think he's going to have the assists. I see Son winning it.
That's
Player
fair.
of the Year.
All right, Young Player of the Year. Is this where we finally put Haaland on the awards? What are you saying?
I'm going with yes.
You're saying Haaland?
Haaland.
I'm just gonna throw my other one in there. I'm putting Starboy in there.
Starboy. Bukayo.
I mean, I don't want to say I'm a little bit already regretting putting Arsenal 4th because I do think Arsenal could finish 3rd. And a major reason why they would do that is if Saka gets double-digit goals, double-digit assists, is one of the key factors of Arsenal really making that push. And I just think if you're looking at some of the other options, like Foden winning it last season, like I feel like there were other options that maybe deserved it more.
Yeah.
Like Haaland, if Haaland scores 20+ goals, he's gonna get it, especially if City win the league. But I think that depending on how far Saka could take Arsenal, is if they make top 4, it's gonna be a big part to do with him. So I'm putting Saka getting Player of the Year.
Yeah. I got Haaland. I think he's gonna score 20 goals. I think it's gonna be not a struggle 20, because I don't think scoring 20 goals is never a struggle. But obviously, I think he's gonna struggle a little bit at the beginning of the season. And I think that by the second half of the season, he's gonna really pick up that momentum and that steez that he needs to get it. And I just see him being a guy that the league is trying to promote. Obviously, like I said, he's a guy that picked Man City over Real Madrid and PSG. All these top clubs that were interested in Haaland.
Yep.
And I could definitely see the league rewarding a guy like that if he can score 20 goals. Even 18, I think 18 to 20, I think they would reward him with Young Player of the Year.
Yeah.
But I think Bukayo's a nice shout out because I think this could be the year where he finally wins it. But I think this is also, to me, and I don't know what you think, is this a prove it year for Bukayo from being a young player to now you're the guy?
Now the dude,
Dude, I mean, is this the prove it year?
I think it's maybe a little too early for that, but I think that definitely if Arsenal, kind of like I said, if Arsenal's going to make that big step into the top 4 and really be like cement themselves at that level, he needs to be one of the main reasons why. Him and Jesus, Martinelli, Odegaard, I think are going to be like all really impactful for this Arsenal team, but clearly Starboy is the Starboy for Starboy reasons. So I think Saka, I'm not necessarily a prove it year, but I think it's definitely if he wants to make a statement that this is his team and he wants to drive them forward, this is going to be a season where he makes a big impact.
And who do you got for comeback player of the year?
This might be a little bit more hopeful. Not Ronaldo, but I'm putting him there for a placeholder. It's going to be Marcus Rashford. Because he was, I mean, downright, I mean, I don't want to be disrespectful at this point, but he was not good last season. And I think that if Ten Hag can really take him under his wing, help him create chances, help him isolate defenders one-on-one, really get after it, I think that there's a really big chance that he rebounds in a big way. And whether that's scoring even like 10 goals, 10 assists, and really helping Manchester United somehow magically make a top 4 push, even though I feel like they could do that at a stretch, especially considering how Tottenham and Chelsea end up playing out their seasons. But I think Rashford's definitely my shout for comeback player of the year.
I'm going to go with a similar player on the same team. I'm going to go with Sancho. I think Sancho's going to, and again, you could say
put Ten Hag in there, for the reasons.
Ten Hag we trust. I got some. I think he's going to definitely come back this season, kind of show why he was worth the money that they paid for him. I think Ten Hag is going to definitely kind of utilize his best assets to really get this Man United team back on track. And again, not necessarily that's going to lead to wins, but I think that he's going to go back to kind of scoring the goals and the assists that he needs. Because I think he is a young and talented player. I just think he gets kind of lost in the Man United name shuffle just because of all the stuff that's going on with that squad.
Especially how little Ole ended up helping him with his, like, not necessarily as much as, like, obviously Ole was a great player, but as a coach, I feel like he seemed very hands-off, no matter how true or may not that be, but I just feel like he didn't get the proper coaching, and I feel like Man United fans would say that as well, that, like, he really didn't get implemented into the system, and there wasn't a lot of stuff going on around him to really make him thrive. Whereas now I feel like with Ten Hag and the structure and, like, how much, even how good they've looked in the preseason, I feel like it's definitely a really good shot for Sancho.
All right, are we missing an award here? Maybe first manager fired?
I kind of said earlier, I don't necessarily think Brendan Rodgers will be the first manager sacked. I do think he's a good shout, but what do you think? I'll throw you a quick one.
Who's gonna be the first manager fired? I kind of want to go Tuchel just to be
that dude.
Just that dude.
Chelsea, you can never. I guess under Abramovich, you can never really count on what's going to happen. But I feel like the new owners will be a little bit more lenient. But
who do I have here? Could it be? I think I don't know. This one's kind of tough. If I had to look at kind of the current,
I feel like the manager sack race is tough because you don't necessarily know how intrusive or demanding the promotion managers will be.
Yeah.
Because if, like, for example, like Fulham come up and they just absolutely bombshell the first 2 months of the season, Marco Silva could absolutely be the first one fired.
Could it be Frank Lampard even? If Everton,
that's a good shout. I will say they were Everton. If we're doing relegation predictions, which we're not, I would say that I don't think they're going to get relegated, but they're definitely going to be close. A little bit around there just because of the lack of, like, impact signings that they've made. Yeah. So I think that he could definitely be fired, but I would say that since he saved them last season and the scenes surrounding all that when it happened, I think that he probably bought himself one more season at least. But that's definitely a good shot.
Maybe Brendan Rodgers. It's about that time.
I think kind of like I said before. I think if they start slow and if they sell Tielemans and Madison and don't replace them, and Vardy and Daka don't hit the ground running, I think he could definitely see the sack before. And so then, who'd you say? Quick, who's your pick?
I'm gonna go with who'd I have? I had Frank Lampard. I'm going Frankie.
All right, then I'm gonna say who's your surprise team? Like we kind of talked about a little bit earlier, but like who'd you say is like your surprise team that you think might do better than people think they're gonna do?
I think Nottingham Forest. They made a lot of good signings. I've loved what they've done.
Go look at them. Go see what they've got. Because I will say that one of the narratives surrounding Nottingham Forest is that they may have bought too many players, but I do feel like that a lot of people have said that their squad, because they were mid-table, I believe, when Steve Cooper took over, and then they made it through the playoff. And so I think that a lot of people said that their squad wasn't good enough to survive, so that the fact that they brought in a lot of transfers may be a little bit of a risk, kind of like circa Fulham a couple years ago.
Yeah.
But I do think that they needed a little bit of a squad overhaul, and so I do agree that, like, I think Nottingham Forest, if they gel and hit the ground running within the first, like, month or two of the season, they could be last year's Brentford, I would say, almost.
Yeah, and I kind of like the Jesse Lingard signing. He made a huge impact. What was he at? West Ham? The year before he came back to Man United. And so I think that he'll kind of have that similar impact where I think you could definitely see him kind of do some good things. Neco Williams, obviously a Liverpool guy. I think even Tao Aoyoni as well.
He was a former Liverpool guy,
a lot of former Liverpool guys. No, have they panned out?
Well,
that's another question.
Pretty good. Yeah. And I feel like Taiwo was going to be pretty good too, but they were never going to make it.
Yeah, and then and Dean Henderson and goalie. I think this team is going to do really well. I think they're going to be a surprise team. I definitely can see them being kind of at the...
Brennan Johnson, really good player.
Yeah. Mid-table.
I think what I'm going to say is, I feel like a lot of people probably have these guys down for relegation. And look, I know this is 4 a.m. soccer and all that, and I'm not necessarily the biggest, American fan, but I'm going to say Leeds.
Leeds.
I like
Ted Lasso.
I will say that obviously, I think it'd be kind of a fool to say that losing Rafinha and Calvin Phillips isn't a little bit scary. But bringing in Tyler Adams, Sinistera, Brendan Aronson, and Rasmus Christensen, and Mark Rocca, I think it's like really good business. I think also, I feel like people kind of forget about Patrick Bamford. Like our friend group doesn't forget about Patrick Bamford, let me tell you. But I think that him being at full capacity for this season, Brendan Aronson being a creative player, Sinistera, if he can even replicate somewhat of what Rafinha was able to do, Tyler Adams not replacing Calvin Phillips, but doing that type of a role. I think that a lot of people have these guys pegged as relegation candidates, and I'm not going to say they're going to finish maybe like top 12 or something crazy, but I think they could easily finish anywhere from like 13th to 16th in a somewhat comfortable fashion.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you there. I'm curious to see how the Americans play for them. Obviously, Harrison and Adams for sure.
Yep.
See, and Adams. Just I think that this Leeds team, they definitely have some good pieces. I think my concern is, you get rid of Rafinha and Calvin Phillips. Those are big shoes to fill.
Yep.
And as much as we love Bamford in our chat,
rumors around Jack Harrison potentially leading to Newcastle.
Yeah, I mean, Newcastle finally making their push. They finally got the loans approved.
Facts.
And
I feel like I will say last thing on this is that the Jesse Marsch kind of stigma. Whereas if they don't start the season super well, the American manager, can he really hack it? All that type of stuff. And so I'm not gonna say I've also seen Jesse Marsch name been mentioned in Lasac race too, which would be kind of underwhelming. Or I guess underwhelming doesn't really make sense, but it'd be kind of sad at that point to really make he didn't really have enough time to make his impact on Leeds as a team. But I think they'll surprise people. As long as they don't sack Jesse Marsch and the season isn't going absolutely terribly for the first month or so of the season.
Is there any other awards that we're missing?
I don't think so. I think we're good.
All right. Well, guys, that's going to do it here for our Premier League prediction for the top 6, even top 7, top 8, you could even say.
Leave a like,
share, subscribe. Again, trying to grow this channel for AM Footy, trying to grow the American
Revolution.
American Revolution, as our friend PM likes to refer to it as. And again, we'll be kind of doing similar videos here with both me and Josh kind of going at it.
Reactions, previews, all the type of stuff.
All the type of stuff that's interesting to watch for the Premier League. And again, even though we didn't bring up some of these players that you're seeing down here, there's going to be some exciting things at the end. I think it's going to be another unpredictable season for the Premier League.
Definitely agree.
Because again, with the amount of money that's spent in the league, $1 billion, you're definitely going to get a lot of interesting players,
a lot of action,
interesting teams, and a lot of goals and a lot of heartbreak. Depending on what team you are, maybe it's Arsenal or Man United, or maybe it's Liverpool or Man City.
Maybe it's Crystal Palace.
You never know.
But
anyway, guys, like I said, my name is Bernie. This is Josh. We'll catch you guys in the next video of 4 AM Footy. Like I said, please remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Again, like I said, it helps the algorithm out, helps what we need to do. Tell your friends.
Tell your dad.
Anyway, guys, we'll catch you on the next video. Peace.